Yo, good morning, boys and girls. How you guys doing today? Mr. Samosa here with another one of your friendly garden updates. Hope you guys are having an awesome time. I have a great lesson for us planned today. Today we're gonna be learning all about planting, the different ways to plant, and I'll show you guys some awesome examples. Hope you guys are doing good once again. Take care, Mr. Samosa signing off. Today, we're gonna be learning all about planting. Now, there's two types of planting that we're gonna be learning about today. Planting with seeds, and when you're planting just plants. Now, when you're planting with seeds, there's three different methods of planting, of distributing the seeds. One is broadcast, two is furrow, and three is drill. And then, once we move away from seeds and we go on to plants or different types of sprouts that are already kind of growing in pots, and we want to plant them somewhere else, that's called transplanting. So today we're going to get a chance to touch on all these different things. So the first one we're going to learn about is broadcasting. What is broadcasting? Sometimes when we hear the word broadcasting, we kind of hear it in the sense of like news, like the news broadcast, right? Broadcast is like the news is coming out to us. It's going out into the world. Seeds is very similar. So now I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by broadcast. So, the first seed method we're going to learn about of distribution is called broadcasting. Usually, but not all the time, but usually broadcasting happens with very small, tiny seeds. Kind of like lettuce or carrots. Those kind of seeds are very small. Right here I have a little bit of lettuce seeds, and I'm going to pour them out into my hand and show you what they look like. They're very tiny, as you can see. Very, very tiny. So the way that we usually plant these is that we broadcast them. What that means is that we grab the seeds and we throw them or spread them around into a large area. That's why, if you remember on some of my other video, I was talking about thinning out. And I'm actually gonna have a whole video talking about that and actually going through and thinning out. And what thinning out means is that after we broadcast all the seeds, a lot of different sprouts pop up. And all those sprouts kind of crowding for the same space. So we need to thin them out later. But first, before we get that far, we need to broadcast them. So I'm gonna show you an example of what that looks like. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna broadcast some seeds. And I'm gonna show you how to do it right here in Lettuceville, because that's where the lettuce is being planted at, right? So we have our seeds in our hand, and we're gonna broadcast them around. We don't gotta worry about where they go specifically, as long as they land in the dirt or in that beautiful soil that we already prepared. So we'll grab a small pinch, kind of sprinkle them around like that. Maybe grab another small pinch, kind of sprinkle them around like that. One more small pinch. Make sure they're getting evenly distributed all over the place. And what's cool about broadcasting is it allows us to get a lot of seeds into a big area or a small area. So you could imagine broadcasting happening on a big farm. Maybe not with someone's hands, but with a machine. Back in the day, it used to all happen by hand. So yeah, my friends, broadcasting, our seed dispersal method number one. Thank you. All right, my friends, now we just finished learning all about the first seed dispersal method, which is broadcast. We broadcasted them out, just like a news reporter. Number two, furrow. Now that's an interesting word, furrow. Kind of rhymes with burrow, which means like making a little small hole. Let's see what that translates to in the actual garden. Let's go ahead and plant right now some seeds using the furrow method. All right, boys and girls. Hey, boys and girls. So, we just got finished learning a little bit about furrowing. Now we're gonna see what that actually means here in the garden. Now, the seeds that we're gonna be working with today are gonna be corn. Now, one thing that I wanna say that is very important is to always read the back of the packaging if you have the seeds. It tells you so much vital information. Let me show you. Now, if you look at the back of the package, it has tons of very important information. It tells you how long the seeds are gonna take to germinate. That means that how long it's gonna be for them to pop up. The depth at how deep you need to make the hole, and the spacing, how much space you need to give them. Remember, one of the needs of a plant is space, So that's how much space they all need. 3 feet to 12 inches. Days to harvest, 75 to 80 days. That's how long it's going to take for us to start getting corn. Now, if we look at this little map of the United States and we look very closely at California, right there, California, we see that it's kind of orange in Southern California where we live. Now, if we go over here to the side and see the orange, it says March through August. So those are the months that we want to actually plant this corn. We don't want to plant it in December, or we don't want to plant it in November. We want to plant it between the months of March and August. And right here at the bottom it says, sow in open ground, well exposed, when soil is warm, thin, when plants are a few inches tall. So there goes that word again, thinning them out. All right, my friends, so now it's time to go ahead and plant some of these using the furrow method. Okay, my friends, here we are in the garden. And the furrow method, I'm gonna show you what it is right now. We grab our finger and we make a line into the dirt. We make a line just like that. I'll make another one right here. We make a line just like that. Now, inside this line is where we're gonna plant our seeds. And we're gonna kind of estimate a little bit, but it said that they needed about 12 inches in between. So we're gonna put one right here. We'll put another one right here. We'll put another one right here. And we'll place another one right here. Sometimes I like to put 2 seeds into one hole, just in case one of the seeds fails to germinate. We always have that good backup plan. And then if they grow together, we could just thin them out when it comes time. So we go ahead and finish planting the 2 seeds into the hole. And then after that, we cover the hole with dirt, just like this. So after the soil is covering up the seeds, then we gotta come back and we gotta give them a nice drink. And I'm gonna go ahead and give them a drink at the end when we're done planting all our seeds today. So yeah, seed dispersal method number 2, furrow. Hey, my friends. So, we just finished seeing broadcast, how we broadcasted our lettuce seeds into lettuce land. We did our furrow method where we drew a line in the dirt, we planted our corn. Now I'm gonna show you what the drill method. Now when we hear the drill, we always think of a tool, right? In the hand, where you're making holes. The exact same thing. Except for the tool, we're gonna have our finger as the drill this time. And I'm gonna show you exactly what we're gonna do right now when we drill into the soil, plant some awesome seeds. Hey boys and girls, now it's time to go ahead and do some planting using the drill method. And the thing we're gonna plant right now is we're gonna plant some awesome sage. Sage is part of the herb family. And if we look very closely at the back, we could see some of the facts. So yes, boys and girls, what these facts say is that we need to plant these between February and May, and we need to plant them at a depth of 1/4 inch. That's important to know because the depth is how deep we're gonna use our finger to make the hole or the drill. So here we go, boys and girls, let me show you. Okay, boys and girls, so here we are in the herb home, and we're gonna do a little bit of planting using the drill method. And what that means is that we're gonna use our finger just like a tool. The tool here being a drill. So we're gonna grab our finger and we're gonna find a spot in the soil and we're gonna make a hole. This one said that it wanted the hole to be about 1/4 inch. So we're going to, with our finger, dig down to about 1/4 inch, just about up to like about this little line on the finger, maybe a little bit less. So we'll put that hole right there. Then we'll move forward a couple of inches and we'll make another hole right there, about 1/4 inch deep. After we've made our holes, we'll go ahead and grab a couple of seeds and we'll sprinkle them inside. We'll sprinkle them inside. Almost lost the camera. We recovered. We'll get the other hole and we'll sprinkle them inside and then we'll cover them up. And then after that, don't forget, we got to give them a nice drink I could think make one more hole right there. We can grab our seeds and place them right inside there. And yes, my friends, that right there is what we call the drill method. Alrighty then, there we have it. We just planted using 3 different seed planting methods. We used the broadcast when we spread our lettuce. We used the furrow where we made a line with our finger, sprinkled in the corn. And we did the drill where we drilled down deep and sprinkled the sage seeds inside. So now we're gonna learn how to plant if we already had something that was growing. And what that's called is just called transplanting. We are taking something that's already been growing like a sprout or a small plant and moving it to a bigger container, whether it be in the ground or an actual bigger container. So today we're gonna be transplanting a strawberry plant that is in a container about this big and planting it into one of our beds so that it can have all the room to spread its roots and to grow as large as it can. All right, boys and girls, I hope you're ready. Hello, my friends. So, right now, we are gonna work on transplanting. We are gonna move the contents of this bucket into this garden bed. And what we're gonna need is a shovel or something to dig. And the soil has become a little bit hard and compacted, so we're gonna loosen up the soil a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and start digging a little bit of a hole, chopping up those chunks. Now, we can see that the bucket is about that big. So we need to make the hole at least that deep. The reason being is that we need to make sure that all the roots that are inside of this bucket have enough room inside of the garden bed so that they can spread. So we don't want to make the hole too small and we don't want to make it too big. We want to make sure that these leaves are right on top of the soil and all the roots are underneath the ground where they belong. So let's go ahead and kind of try to make a hole that is almost the same size as our bucket. See how rich and black the soil is? That's awesome. That's a really great sign. When you see how awesome the color is, that rich black color, that means it's full of organic matter, organic compost, nutrients, just really good stuff for the plant. Soil is alive. And all that life is what brings life forth with our plants. So here we go. What I like to do is to loosen up the plant from the pot, is I like to kind of like tilt it on the side and kind of give it a small light squeeze on the back end. And what that begins to do is it begins to loosen up that root ball that's at the bottom. And don't be scared. You could tip it over and let gravity do the work. And as you can see, it comes out like one perfect ball, right? Now what we want to do is we want to kind of just give it a little light squeeze to kind of loosen up a little bit. Not a lot, because it's gonna fall apart in your hands. But loosen it up, kind of put it down right there. Now, after we've placed it in the hole, we're gonna grab some of this soil that we took out and kind of fill the sides. Put some of that awesome, rich black soil back into it. Making sure it kind of goes to the bottom. Bring some more in. Really get your hands in there, you know? I always love feeling that soil on my hands. Lightly pat it down. And there we have it, boys and girls. Transplanting. Hey, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed yourselves today. I had a really great time. We got a chance to learn about all these different ways to plant, planting seeds, whether using the broadcast method, the furrow method, or the drill method. Each method works best for different types of seeds. Try to figure out which one works best for you. And also how to transplant. Now that we're done with that, I'm gonna give the plants a nice drink.